Greetings and salutations, viewers and listeners. Welcome to episode 121 of Word Ninjas Live, the second to last episode of 2015. I am your host, as always, Charles, and my full crew has somehow wandered off. I don't know where they went.
It's just you and me tonight, it seems.
We must have scared them away or something.
Sorry. But I am here as well, Will, as always, with possibly the best attendance record still.
I think I only beat it because I started from episode 1.
Yeah, you cheated.
Although I think you guys started on episode 3 or 4, so it's pretty close.
It's almost 120 episodes ago. I don't remember.
Yeah. But hey, we're here. It's a show. Let's talk about stuff, shall we?
Fair enough.
What do we have on the docket for tonight? Well, because it is the gifting season, and we are all creative people, let's talk about gift shopping for creative people. Either gifts for creative people, or as a creative person, what sort of gifts you would wish to receive. Let's see. As I've been doing lately, I kind of parsed it into little conceptual levels of, well, what sort of resources does the creative person use? What creative materials would they want or enjoy or appreciate, depending on the type of creations they make? Notebooks, sketch pads, pens, pencils, paint, etc. There's a whole slew of options out there and a whole slew of places you can receive them from. There's also stuff like content, like if they happen to like particular books or music or art or movies, or maybe a ticket to an event of some sort, or tickets to movies or a play, or etc. I know I have a whole list of books that I need to track down eventually because I have like books 2 and 7 in a series, but I'm missing all the others. And I don't want to buy duplicates, so it's helpful to have a list of the ones I'm missing.
Oops.
And there's also just significance. It doesn't have to be directly related to what they happen to create or what they're working on, but if it has some sentimental or some sort of meaning attached to it, then it can be easily appreciated and figured out. I know half of my bookshelf is full of non-writing and literary things. They just happen to be amusing that other people got for me. I think half of them are stuffed animals. It was a holiday fox, and it was the only one in the store that I could tell. How could I not get it?
True. It's totes adorbs. And loves winter.
Although I don't think winter is officially kicked in yet.
It doesn't seem to have.
I think it's officially on the 21st or something. Maybe a week or so from now.
I have no idea the specific date.
But considering I can still go out without a jacket, it's a bit odd for December.
I've been on the warmer side.
The other things that I broke it down for were like, what is your budget? What is your deadline? And you also should factor in packaging and transport, because if you're not meeting them in person, it's going to have to be shipped. And that takes time.
And extra cash.
And extra cash.
Unless you're an Amazon Prime member.
Yeah, well, not all of us are all fancy and have these types of connections that you do, so
Listen, free 2 day shipping. It pays Prime membership pays for itself after you order 3 things. Just saying. Also, hello. Sorry about that.
I'm going to presume technical shenanigans.
No, uh, body shenanigans.
I was wrong.
um, all technical stuff for sound seems to be okay right now. I assume that I'm coming in okay.
Yep.
All right,
Well enough.
all right. That's all that
Uh,
matters.
we're just talking about the talkie point, conveniently enough, of what to get people for holidays and gift givings and stuff.
Hmm. I was trying to mull that over earlier today. For me, it's just a matter of how well you know the person, what their likes or dislikes, and maybe like little subtle things that you've picked up about them that they may not be aware that you know, like something about their favorite color or like an animal that they like or certain genre of anything in particular. Like even oh, what were you gonna say?
And I was just going to try and sneak in. Everyone should know just buy Calvin a top hat and he will be all set.
Any kind of hat will do actually.
Preferably from Gorin Brothers, though.
Yes, in a size large. Wink. But yeah, if you have a creative that you want to buy something for, uh, something within something within the theme of their particular aspect of creativity always helps. Not sure if that was mentioned, but like just finding something to play off of their particular creative interest or interests is always a good thing to go off of. And it's always good to kind of like add a personal touch to it. Like I mentioned earlier, maybe there's something something about them that you picked up on or or know that they enjoy. Like gear it toward that. See if you can like meld your personal touch and their creative interests in one cool gift. And it doesn't have to be like terribly expensive, but just as long as they've seen you put some thought into it. That's really like the big thing that matters, unless they're incredibly superficial. And then you, you know what? I'm not getting you crap.
You can get him a nice looking card.
If that.
One of those 99-cent ones you get down at the the grocery store.
Hmm.
I'll give you a nice handshake. Nice firm, happy holidays handshake. And be on my merry way.
Or if all else fails, just invite him over for Festivus and the airing of grievings.
Ah, yes. Airing grievances. I have quite a few grievances too for a lot of people this year.
I've been good, I swear.
I was gonna
No, but
say,
nobody.
most of them are probably your coworkers from your day job, huh?
You see, you know me all too well. But you guys have nothing to worry about. It's nobody on this podcast and nobody in the group, so you guys are safe.
For now.
It's just everybody else that has to be worried.
Yes. And God help anybody who asks why I didn't buy them a present. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. Hope you're sitting down.
3 hours later.
Merry Christmas.
Calvin, it's midnight. We need to end the podcast now.
That's only my first page of people.
Nope, Google has an 8-hour limit for Hangouts. We're going as long as we can.
I'm sure Will would love editing that.
Nope. That kind of thing you leave unedited.
But yeah, back to what I was saying. Personal touch. Basically showing that you kind of have a good idea of what they like, what they don't like, something within their creative realm or realm of interest. I don't know. I try not to overthink buying somebody a Christmas present. Either I have a good idea or I'll just figure out a good way to fudge it.
Fudge is always good.
Precisely.
As long as you can have fudge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've kind of stuck with the mentality of this year is everybody gets something that just seems right for them. If I happen to find something while I'm just out and about.
Nice.
And somehow that's probably why I'm pretty much done with my shopping for the year. I'm just waiting on one of them to be delivered already. Although that was through Etsy, so I couldn't really do 2-day shipping.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough.
Let's see. Some of the stuff I was thinking for this talkie point, and this is just something I've noticed for being around creative people, is if you're looking for stuff they need, they might not necessarily remember they need it when you ask them, what do you need? But if you're able to pay attention to them when they're working on their creative endeavors, they'll inadvertently tell you what they need when they start complaining about stuff that they're running low on or don't have. Like, oh no, I need another note. This notebook's getting this filled. I'm going to need a new one soon. Or I'm running out of purple or something like that. That'll clue you in on the supplies they need. Just got to make sure they don't buy them before you get there.
Yeah, it's always an entertaining time for those creative friends who either just buy the things they need or just say, I don't need anything.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want?
I covered that too. Wish lists. I know CJ mentioned wish lists, but wish lists, or if they're on any kind of blog or forum, check out their want tag. Some people tag stuff as want. Usually superficial stuff that they don't really need, they just see and they like it and they go want, and then they forget about it. So you can surprise them and say, you wanted this thing 6 months ago, here it is.
Yeah, did that on Tumblr inadvertently and ended up giving the same gift that I got.
Oops.
So now both of us can enjoy it.
Yay. But yeah, that's just if you're dealing with a creative type person who doesn't want to give you a list. I know I myself can be kind of stubborn like that. Gift cards are always good too. If you really can't figure something else, go with the gift of a gift card.
When all else fails, man.
Yeah.
And a good alternative or standby is if you happen to be seeing them during the holidays or during an event where some gift would be given, you can take them out for a meal
Hmm.
or provide food or sustenance of some sort because creative people aren't necessarily the best at taking care of themselves nutritionally.
No.
Mm.
So giving them a decent meal, I'm sure, is always appreciated.
Giving them a cup of coffee is usually enough to make them feel appreciated.
That too.
That was pretty much all I could think of. I'm not good at the whole gift thing usually. You can always create a gift too. You don't necessarily have to purchase one. If you are creative yourself, draw something, make something, write something.
Cook
It's a
something.
nice personal touch. Cook something, craft something.
Might want to do a road test of anything you cook first, though, rather than just experiment and have the person be the guinea pig.
Yeah, typically.
But then again, I'm one of those cooks that just perpetually experiments and then forgets to write down the recipe when it actually works. Do either of you do gift shopping online at all?
Yes.
Yes.
What sort of places do you go to for said shopping and gift huntings? Or is it just Amazon because 2-day shipping?
um, as long as I can help it, Amazon because 2-day shipping.
I don't get 2-day shipping and I'd still go to Amazon because when you're shopping for people like Ed who want really obscure things, you have to go to Amazon.
And
Amazon,
if you do eBay, it's just going to start getting expensive.
Yeah.
Amazon is surprisingly good at like selling common and incredibly uncommon stuff.
Hmm.
Like I've been able to find random stuff for the card that I don't have the title to yet. Like really random stuff, like just little things that I want to do to try to fix it up. I found just about everything on Amazon. Like I had no clue that you could you could the uh, get the driver's side um, driver's side door handle for a 2006 Chevy Cobalt on Amazon.
That is oddly specific.
But lo and behold, guess what I found?
And you can get pretty much anything on Amazon these days.
So Amazon is pretty much my go-to. For everything else, I get kind of fancy and I take advantage of the fact that I live in New York and run to Manhattan and check out the various holiday gift pop-up stores that show up all around the city.
I still have yet to do that this year.
Well, they'll be around until the day after Christmas, so you got plenty of time.
I thought it was until the end of the year outright.
If it's not, excuse me, if it's not until the end of the year, it's usually up until the day after Christmas.
Hmm. Well, I think I only have 2 more days in New York for the year anyway, so
Hey, check them out while you can. I have yet to
I'm
make it over there yet. Yeah, make it to either of them. I missed it last week by like a half hour. I did not
ooh.
realize they all close at 8.
hmm,
So
inconvenient.
very. What were we gonna say?
I was going to say I do most of my shopping online because I don't have a car. So I have to rely on someone else to drive me around. And then it makes it tricky to buy that person their gifts when they're there also shopping. Not that we don't do it anyway. It's just don't look in each other's bags.
That reminds me, I still have some shopping to do. I found I found something for my mom that she didn't realize, or she probably subliminally hinted that she wanted. So
Nice.
I must jump on that while I can.
Well, so long as you still have the 2-day shipping, you have plenty of time.
Oh yeah. Can't really think of anything else.
Has anyone used Etsy at all to get a gift before?
I have not. I don't think I've ever gotten anything off Etsy.
Have I?
Not even any of our stuff.
I don't have to go through Etsy to get it. It's all here in my home.
Faster than 2-day shipping.
Yeah, it's 2-second shipping.
I don't remember honestly. I've shopped at Etsy quite a few times, but I'm not sure if I've done it for Christmas.
I think this is the first year where I've used it for a couple gifts. But it's mostly just through friends of ours who happen to have Etsy stores, and it's easier to go through that process to get it all sorted out.
Mm. Since you've excuse me, since you've done Etsy shopping, um, do you feel like the things you can get on Etsy are like a bit more tailored to the people that you usually try to shop for, or
Uh,
is Amazon a little better, or
if it's
anyone other than Amazon? It doesn't have to be
uh,
Amazon per se.
if it's something generic or something mass produced, then something like an Amazon would probably be the way to go. But if it's something handcrafted or custom made, resources like Etsy are pretty convenient. You just have to factor in transportation and shipping.
Mm,
Because depending on where the artist lives, it can take a little while to get here.
true.
I think one of mine is going to be cutting it pretty close because it's technically international.
Ooh.
And by technically, I mean I think it's in Spain. So
Ah, gotcha.
when it goes international, you also have to factor in customs.
Customs.
Always a fun time.
I joke about this a lot, but I'm not. But yeah, there may be a chance that my name might be on the customs watch list because of something I purchased overseas. I mean, it wasn't anything dangerous. Well, dangerous. I mean, just for kicks, I decided to purchase a one of those like practice butterfly knives.
Hmm.
And it doesn't even have a blade. It's it's completely dull. But I couldn't help but notice that it took almost a month to get from I think it was Hong Kong to here, and I noticed that it's like like 2.5 of those weeks was spent in customs.
Yeesh.
So yeah, I might be on a watch list now.
Realistically, considering all the things that we have collectively done, I'm sure we're all on a watch list or 12.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at least.
My browser search history has raised some flags before. I'm a writer, I swear.
Yeah, no one needs to be going through my browser history. That's just a minefield.
Mine either.
It's all research, honestly.
Yeah, research. Oh yeah, but just for the record, I don't do all of my shopping online. Like I mentioned earlier that I will browse, like I don't mind browsing the pop-up shops, the holiday Christmas time pop-up shops. I mean,
Those
those are,
places are fun.
yeah, they're just fun to go to and like enjoy the atmosphere and the vibe of everybody selling stuff and just being there.
Have you been to the one at Columbus Circle at all?
I I actually didn't know that there was one.
I went last year and it is ridiculous.
Good ridiculous.
Fun ridiculous.
It's very rare that I go past 42nd Street in a given year, so
Same here.
it get it it really never dawned on me to like check out check out anything past 42nd Street, like especially Columbus Circle, which is sad because you've got the Time Warner building, and the Time Warner Center is bananas in like how like great all the stores are. The stores there are. I'm sorry, I had trouble with that sentence.
I didn't know they had stores there.
Yeah, they do, and they're really nice too. Stores, restaurants, art,
Hmm.
sculptures, and all sorts of cool stuff. Plus you're not terribly far from the Apple store if you take into consideration that's on the opposite side of Central Park.
And sadly, no FAO Schwartz over there anymore.
Ugh. Disappointing.
That would be good for the gift giving season.
Oh yeah. Well, you do still have the Apple store over there.
Those aren't very
Where
plushy or cute. Those are just expensive.
that is true. Unless you buy one of those over-the-ear headphones, those are kind of plushy, but they are still really expensive. Oh, and my other brick and mortar store of choice, Macy's. I love Macy's. I love Macy's. I love everything about Macy's. I love my Macy's card. I love the Macy's catalog that I get every couple of months with like 20-30% off coupons and the additional 20% off that I can get on by using my Macy's card. Thankfully, I'm no longer in debt with them. Whew, good grief, that was bad. Yeah, Macy's is my excuse me, Macy's is my other go-to store. Like Macy's is my Amazon of brick and mortar stores. uh, yeah, well, you have other like other department stores like uh, J.C. Penney, H&M, Kohl's, other places like that, but
Target.
Target. But I don't know, don't quite have the appeal that Macy's does for me. Plus, there's a
This is
Macy's in down.
sophisticated.
There is a bit of sophistication to Macy's. It has the whole history behind it. That's one of the few stores that like truly exhibits, like, when you think of Christmas spirit, you think of Macy's.
And I'm sure hosting a parade and having a Christmas movie that takes place in Macy's has nothing to do with that.
Nah.
Perhaps. But
I can
Macy's. Oh, go ahead.
I can only imagine what Macy's would be like if they had kept their ridiculous previous name, which used to be Federated Departments. They changed that back in around '08 or '09, I want to say.
Really?
Yeah, for the corporate name, it used to be Federated Departments, but then they finally changed that to Macy's.
Huh.
Because branding.
And you know better about branding than anybody else here.
I was playing with their stock data today and regularly, and every once in a while it pops up if I go back far enough.
Oh, goodness.
And it pisses me off because I'm aligning different years worth of data and they never align because Federated Departments is one stock ticker and Macy's is a different one. And I always have to remember.
Did they merge those stock tickers together?
I do. I just make it retroactive.
Okay.
There's plenty of those out there, though, which make it all sorts of fun.
I'm glad I only have to deal with the brick and mortar side of Macy's. I don't know if I could deal with all the data, and I feel particularly bad for my sister who works for Macy's. And not just any Macy's, the Herald Square Macy's.
How many 50-hour shifts does she have?
I don't know how she stays awake at this point. Like,
Caffeine abuse only gets you so far.
I don't ever see her, and I can't make plans with her because she's always working. And when she's not working, she's sleeping.
So she's on the same schedule as Ed.
Pretty much.
Just got home, coincidentally.
To go to sleep.
It was to show off his fancy new coffee maker.
Ah.
We were talking about, you know. It's an Ed!
Hi, Ed.
They all say hi.
It's been forever since I've seen him.
Work in a kitchen store, they give you free shit. Your coffee makers.
Oh,
See? Good gift for the holidays for any creative person. A coffee maker.
Caffeine! The 40-ounce reservoir, so there's lots of caffeine found.
Now all you need are the little K-cups to go with it.
Actually, good gift. Coffee makers that can brew whole pots or single cups. That's a good gift right there.
And there you have it. Talkie point over. Just get coffee.
Or tea.
Well, most of those
Depending
coffee
on-
machines you can finagle tea with.
True.
They make K-cups for that.
Random recommendation for teas if you need to stay awake. Yerba mate. Yerba mate is actually yerba mate has a very nice flavor and like won't murder your heart if you drink lots of it.
I've already done the murder hard thing enough this week. Within the last 24 hours.
I only did the murder heart thing once, and that was Monday. I forget what I was doing Monday, but I ended up in Manhattan and found a coffee place that wasn't Starbucks, and it got me an iced coffee, and it was wonderful. I gotta find that place again. It was somewhere in Spring Street.
Hmm.
Oh, it was called Joe and the Juice. So
Never been.
It's a coffee bar and a juice bar as well. So they make coffee and smoothies.
Everything froze.
Okay, it's back.
Yay.
Yeah, that was weird. Maybe Google Hangouts needs some coffee too. But yeah, coffee, smoothies, and I think they make other things too, but those are the two things that I noticed that they made.
I am intrigued.
I was in need of coffee, and their iced coffee is some of the best I've ever had. You have something good when the first sip just loosens all the muscles in your body.
Could have used some of that today.
Mm. I will send you the address to that place for the next time you're in the city.
Cool. Until then, are there any other last-minute recommendations for gift givings or places where you can get 2-day shipping or anything else we want to throw in before migrating to the next segment?
I feel like I pretty much divulged all my shopping tips and secrets.
Have any secrets? It's just Amazon and gift cards.
And coffee.
And coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee while shopping and coffee as presents.
Amazon, Macy's, pop-up shops, Etsy.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
And any places that sell coffee. I have my one place.
With that, let's migrate to the highlights reel for the week, shall we?
I guess.
We have a few things for you this week, including the Paris Review, which has a whole slew of interviews on their website. I was not previously aware of this, but they have a couple dozen interviews from various authors over the past several decades. You can sort by name or decade, depending on your preference, and they're actually pretty in-depth from what I saw, just skimming through some of them. So if you happen to have a favorite author or you're just a fan of learning more about some of the authors out there, this is a nice little time sink, as it were, to check a few of them out. I know there's a couple on here I wouldn't mind reading when I get a free moment. Margaret Atwood. There's more on here than I expected.
It's just A through C.
A
tiny fraction of the alphabet.
Oh, previously I had it sorted by decades and it only gave me the 2010s, which is why it felt like such a short list. So there's actually more than just a couple dozen. There's a lot of interviews on here. This is going to take me a while to get through. Oh yeah, Ursula K. Le Guin I wanted to check out at some point. And all of these are completely accessible to anyone with an internet connection and browser and whatnot. You don't have to have a subscription or anything like that. So go check them out. See which authors are on there that might pique your interest. Like an interview with Ernest Hemingway or Faulkner. Next up, kind of a follow-up to last week's article on creativity. Harvard Business Review tossed up another one on how giving up is the enemy of creativity. Focused primarily on the whole concept of perseverance and how kind of pushing through can usually actually yield more creativity than expected. It was actually a pretty fascinating read. I had fun going through it. Not sure if others had time to peruse it or not before the show.
I thought it was pretty informative and fairly spot on. I liked the, I suppose, scientific experiments they conducted in there. It was an interesting way to conduct the experiments. I like the end result basically being, if we can just spoiler it, that most of your creative ideas come after time. Just to sum up one of the reports, they had a group of students come up with creative ideas for, I don't even remember what.
I think 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, what the topic was. But yeah, they had 10 minutes to come up with ideas for something. And then after 10 minutes, they were asked, if you had more time, how many more ideas do you think you could come up with? And they all said, oh, about 10 or so. So they were then given 10 more minutes and actually created up to 15 new ideas. And when they took those ideas and showed them to other people, the ideas that came around in the second 10 minutes were actually better and more creative than the first few ideas. So the idea is that the better work comes later, but you got to stick through it and spend time working on it.
Sometimes you have to put the idea on a shelf and let it percolate for a while.
Sometimes you got to get the bad ideas out first to find the better ideas. Your first idea is not necessarily your best idea. Your 20th idea, on the other hand.
And it seemed to boil down to their recommendations of ignore your first instinct to stop. Just keep on going a little bit more so you can try and come up with a few more ideas or things to add to whatever it is you're working on. You're allowed to take a break in between, kind of like what they did with the experiment. And a reminder that creative problems are supposed to feel difficult. If creative endeavors were easy, or if everything was a eureka moment, I think the world would be pretty different to what it is right now. Figuring out the right creative concept and combination for things is not easy. It doesn't feel easy. It isn't easy. It's a challenge. Which is why if you stick through it, you'll not only find the right combination, but then you'll also get that feeling of achievement and having persevered and all that good stuff. Or at least that's what I got out of the article. And rounding out our highlights for the week is another book bundle. It looks like Story Bundle is kind of maxed out at 5 bundles, which we've covered on previous episodes. But over on Humble Bundle, they have a whole bundle on learning Raspberry Pi and Arduino. And I believe that there is a minimum price on this one. Because I know some of them, not 12, I want one to show. Oh no. This one is nice. You can pay $1 and up for the first tier. You can pay currently $13.29 for the second tier, or $15 to get the third tier. So starting off with the first tier of $1 and up, you could learn how to make Arduino bots and gadgets, making simple robots, getting started with Adafruit Flora, which I have no idea what that is personally, getting started with Adafruit Trinket, building an Arduino-compatible breadboard microcontroller, and Raspberry Pi and AVR products. Pretty good start, all things considered, if you want to learn all that stuff. But if that's not enough for you, you could pay the $13 and change and also obtain AVR programming, getting started with Raspberry Pi, the second edition, getting started with Arduino, the third edition, getting started with sensors, JavaScript robotics, the Maker's Manual, Make Issue 36, boards and microcontrollers, Make Issue 38, high-tech do-it-yourself, a Raspberry Pi controlled robot, basic Arduino products, and getting started with Intel Galileo. If all that is still not enough for you, if you still want more, you could up things to $15 or more and also get a book on sensors and making things talk. And this bundle is still available for 6 days and change as of this recording. I feel like this is more up Calvin or Justin's alley than mine.
This would be something I would be kind of interested in, but like electronics have like little circuitry and gadgets like that were always my weak point, especially breadboards and logic gates and all that other crap.
Or exit signs.
Or exit signs, which I still have. It's hanging up right over here.
Can I just say, ironically, we're talking about books about making robots, and then suddenly you sound like a robot.
He's just getting in the theme.
Of course. Oh, man. Hold on a second.
And as always, the links to the highlights reel are in the show notes for episode 121 over on FC Writers if you want to go check them out. Which brings us to the Productivity and Inspiration Station, where we get to talk about things that happened over the last week. As for myself, I did my portion of the final Not Suitable for Word Ninjas podcast recording episode ever, at least as far as we're aware. Maybe, possibly. We'll see. And I've also been pushing through on Game Break recordings, and I now have 5 episodes to wrap up, and the game still isn't over. It just won't end. It's not fair. I think I still have 2 or 3 more episodes to record, at least. And I got another byline at work because I felt like writing. It's always nice to get a byline. And over the weekend, there was crew shenaniganry, and many a good times were had. Even though my GPS was playing shenanigans of its own that were not appreciated. And a recent quote that I heard actually today, which I thought was amusing, is if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. And it was focused on creativity and positivity and all that, not actually nightmares or making them worse. That would be a bad thing. What have the rest of you been up to over the past week?
Well, I got caught up on all the audio editing for Word Ninjas Live. I did fall behind a little bit, but I buckled down, spent some time to get all the episodes done, so all caught up again.
Yay!
Yay! I also started very high-end frameworking for the ideas and plots for my next novel that I'm planning to do, because I will never stop writing. I still have ideas for other stories, and I'm going to plot them out this time and actually plot out the plot in advance instead of just dive right in like I did last time. I think it'll probably save me time in the long run. Also, again, had the fun night out with Fearless Leader doing shenanigans and not getting lost because of GPS shenanigans.
Meh.
And I also spent a little bit more time than was probably necessary converting every individual chapter of my roommate's a stripper into an individual Word file, because there's one website I'm a member of that I would like to post the story up to introduce it to more potential readers, but they don't have a rich text editor on their website. I have to upload a file instead.
That seems silly.
It's very silly. Especially considering it's Fur Affinity, which is one of the largest fur art sites out there. You'd think they could get a rich text editor working for their website.
But those things are so expensive and hard to run.
Oh, yeah. And even accept a poor text editor. Instead, I have to upload files, and then it's not even going to be viewable in browser. Readers will have to download the file to read it locally.
That seems extremely silly.
It is. It is. But if I wanted the chapters to be readable in browser, I'd have to upload them as .txt's, which means goodbye formatting.
Hmm.
I can basically new line. I don't even think I can go italics in a text file.
Yeesh.
So that's that. That took way longer than it should have, but it's all ready to go, so I'll probably start uploading those chapters progressively over the next couple weeks, and hopefully gain more readership.
Yay.
If not, I will have wasted my time.
And what has the almighty Music Man been up to?
Am I still sounding robot-like?
Nope, you're back to normal.
Okay, alright, good. Alright, we're going into week 3 of Operation Where the F is the title to my freaking car.
No 2-day shipping.
Apparently not. I've no idea what's going on. Like, I because the title hadn't shown up, I had to temporarily suspend the insurance on my car. But thankfully, Geico was nice. They figured out a way that I could keep my downgrade my insurance, but still uh, keep the keep the rate that they gave me when I can finally register the car and reinstate it.
Yay.
So thanks, Geico. That little lizard is good for something.
Hooray.
Let's see. I had a pretty epic brainstorming session with Justin this past Sunday. We put our heads together and websited like crazy. It was awesome. I'm sure we were both surprised at how far we were able to get and how much we accomplished. I'm proud of the both of us.
It's kind of scary sometimes just how much we can pull off when any of us actually get together.
Right? Like imagine all of us getting together on a regular basis, on a daily basis. That would be very, very dangerous for everyone else except us.
Someday.
Thankfully, we've got all the dangerous stuff out of the way already. Well, dangerous to us.
The obviously dangerous to us. We're still clumsy at times. I'm still clumsy at times.
I have my moments as well, so you're in good company. Let's see what else happened. Yeah, I excuse me. I went out to see a concert Saturday night and at a friend of mine that was performing, and I got to catch up with him afterwards and just chat music and creativity. And what's funny, I've known him for I think at least 5 years now. And he knew I did music, but up until that point he had never heard anything I had made. So I got a chance to give him like a little music primer and let him listen to some of the things I've worked on in the past and present. And I definitely was able to inspire him with quite a few ideas. So we're planning somewhere down the line, hopefully sooner than later, to get together and see if we can put our heads together and see what we can do.
Cool.
That's really exciting. I've been wanting to work with him for a while, but the stars didn't quite align up until this point, so it's going to be cool to see just what we can come up with.
You and your networking.
Hey, guys got to do what a guy's got to do, man.
I'm sure Justin is grumbling at the moment and doesn't know why. How dare people network and do collaborative creations?
Networking is everybody's friend. Well, yes, we got to do something to, at the very least, keep the revenue stream, get our revenue stream
existing.
Yes. Content, man, content.
I'm working on it.
We all are, I think.
Hopefully. I think it was even homework.
Oh yeah, that's right. I need to upload that. But yeah, that was my week. Not a bad week, I say.
It seems like we all had fun.
Fun is always a good thing.
Unfortunately for now, the fun time of this podcast is pretty much over. Because we've talked about all that we're going to talk about. Although, we are getting close enough, it is worth mentioning a month from now, January 9th and 10th, we're going to be at your mini-con in January in Meriden, Connecticut. Oh, good lord, that literally is a month from now.
Yep.
We really should get on that.
That we do.
Because that's coming up fast. But yes, convention in a month. So if you want to see us in person or check out some of our shiny baubles, that would be a good opportunity. And if you are unable to attend, we are there as press as well. So we're going to be doing all sorts of recordings and interviews if we can line them up, and anything else in regards to shenaniganry that we get up to. Good times will be had by all. Or else. But yes, with that, that is a show. That is all we've got. There's nothing left. We've said all we have to say. But if you want more, if that wasn't enough for you, you can go to the YouTube channel, where you can check out all the other episodes of Word Ninjas Live, all 120 previous episodes. You can check out our Game Break series. You can check out previous events we've been to and recordings we've gotten. You can go to various social media outlets and talk to us, continue the conversations, or ask us questions for future episodes. We're over on Twitter at FCWordNinja. We're over on Tumblr, fcwordninja.tumblr.com. And we're also on Facebook, facebook.com/fullcoveragewriters. Feel free to send us a comment, a message, whatever. Direct message, I think, is for Twitter. If you have questions for us, or you want to continue some conversation on talkie points, or if there's an interesting web resource or news article you want us to highlight, by all means, let us know. And if you want to track me down, I am generally running around like an overcaffeinated octopus, but your best bet to find me is my Tumblr, which is fancypantswolf.tumblr.com. Where can people track down Will?
You can mostly find me on my Tumblr page at darkhom.tumblr.com. The spelling for that is DARKHOM. You can check out the occasional writing update at myroommatethestripper.tumblr.com, but that is going to get some revamping come the new year. So keep an eye out for that. And you can always support me on my Patreon page at patreon.com/darkhom, which will also be getting some revamping come the new year.
And how about the Calvin?
Your best bets for finding me are on Tumblr. You can find me at instacal.tumblr.com, and on Twitter and Instagram at CCWII.
And that is all we have for you tonight. Morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time you happen to be watching or listening to this. We will be back next week for episode 122, which is our last episode for the year. That is because we're spending 2 weeks off at the end of the year and focusing on all sorts of updates, upgrades, revamps, alterations, additions, maybe some subtractions. Hopefully not multiplications or divisions, because I hate maths. But next week is the last episode.
Just as long as there's no fractions.
I don't like fractions. Decimals only.
Technically speaking, a fraction is just division.
I don't want to do division.
And especially not imaginary numbers. God help us if we divide by 0. And I know at least one of us is capable of doing that.
Just because I did it the one time.
Once was too much, man.
Fine. But yes, next week is episode 122, the last live show of the year. So tune in next Wednesday night for our end of the year reflections and 2016 goals, endeavors, hopes, dreams, all that good stuff. In the
Aspirations, perspirations.
Yeah, aspirations was what I was thinking of. Or trying to think of anyway. As always, until then, have a good week. Go be creative. Go buy some gifts for other creative peoples, or hint to people as to what sort of creative gifts you wish to obtain. And we will see you all next time. Ta-ta all. I know half of my bookshelf is full of non-writing and literary things. They just happen to be amusing that other people got for me. I think half of them are stuffed animals. It was a holiday fox, and it was the only one in the store that I could tell. How could I not get it?
True. It's totes adorbs. And loves winter.
Although I don't think winter is officially kicked in yet.
It doesn't seem to have.
I think it's officially on the 21st or something. Maybe a week or so from now. I can
I have
never
no
remember
idea the specific date.
But considering I can still go out without a jacket, it's a bit odd for December.
I've been on the warmer side.
The other things that I broke it down for were like, what is your budget? What is your deadline? And you also should factor in packaging and transport, because if you're not meeting them in person, it's going to have to be shipped. And that takes time.
And extra cash.
And extra cash.
Unless you're an Amazon Prime member.
Yeah, well, not all of us are all fancy and have these types of connections that you do, so...
Like even... Oh, what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to try and sneak in. Everyone should know, just buy Calvin a top hat, and he will be all set.
Any kind of hat will do, actually.
Preferably from Gorin Brothers, though.
Yes. In a size large. Wink. But yeah, if you have a creative that you want to buy something for, something within the theme of their particular aspect of creativity always helps. Not sure if that was mentioned, but like just finding something to play off of their particular creative interest or interests is always a good thing to go off of. And it's always good to kind of like add a personal touch to it. Like I mentioned earlier, maybe there's something something about them that that you picked up on or know that they enjoy. Like, gear it toward that. See if you can like meld your personal touch and their creative interests in one cool gift. And it doesn't have to be like terribly expensive, but just as long as they've seen you put some thought into it. That's really listen, free 2-day shipping. It pays Prime membership pays for itself after you order 3 things. Just saying. Also, hello. Sorry about that.
I'm going to presume technical shenanigans.
No, body shenanigans.
I was wrong.
All technical stuff seems to be okay right now. I assume that I'm coming in okay.
Yep.
All right.
Well enough.
All right. That's all that matters.
We're just talking about the talkie point, conveniently enough, of what to get people for holidays and gift givings and stuff.
I was trying to mull that over earlier today. For me, it's just a matter of how well you know the person, what their likes or dislikes, and maybe like little subtle things that you've picked up about them that they may not be aware that you know, like something about their favorite color or like an animal that they like or certain genre of anything in particular.
As I've been doing lately, I kind of parsed it into little conceptual levels of, well, what sort of resources does the creative person use? What creative materials would they want or enjoy or appreciate, depending on the type of creations they make? Notebooks, sketch pads, pens, pencils, paint, etc. There's a whole slew of options out there and a whole slew of places you can receive them from. There's also stuff like content, like if they happen to like particular books or music or art or movies, or maybe a ticket to an event of some sort, or tickets to movies or a play, or etc. I know I have a whole list of books that I need to track down eventually because I have like books 2 and 7 in a series, but I'm missing all the others. And I don't want to buy duplicates, so it's helpful to have a list of the ones I'm missing.
Oops.
And there's also just significance. It doesn't have to be directly related to what they happen to create or what they're working on, but if it has some sentimental or some sort of meaning attached to it, then it can be easily appreciated and figured out. Greetings and salutations, viewers and listeners. Welcome to episode 121 of Word Ninjas Live, the second to last episode of 2015. I am your host, as always, Charles, and my full crew has somehow wandered off. I don't know where they went.
It's just you and me tonight, it seems.
We must have scared them away or something.
Sorry. But I am here as well, Will, as always, with possibly the best attendance record still.
I think I only beat it because I started from episode 1.
Yeah, you cheated.
Although I think you guys started on episode 3 or 4 or so. It's pretty close.
It's almost 120 episodes ago. I don't remember.
Yeah. But hey, we're here. It's a show. Let's talk about stuff, shall we?
Fair enough.
What do we have on the docket for tonight? Well, because it is the gifting season, and we are all creative people, let's talk about gift shopping for creative people. Either gifts for creative people, or as a creative person, what sort of gifts you would wish to receive. Let's see.